If you wash your car every weekend, you're probably destroying your paint without even realizing it. See these little cobweb scratches, the ones that only show up in the sun? They're called swirl marks, and they are the #1 sign of a car that's been loved the wrong way. Most guys, even the ones who think they're experts, make 3 massive mistakes that cause this damage. I'm going to show you exactly what those mistakes are, how to stop making them immediately, and the cheap, simple trick to make these ugly scratches vanish forever. Stay tuned. Intro, 28 seconds. What's up, everyone? You know, the first thing people ask me when they see a clean, deep gloss car is, "Man, how much wax do you use?" And I always tell them it's not the wax, it's the wash. Washing your car is probably the most relaxing thing you can do on a Saturday morning, but it's also the most dangerous thing you can do to your clear coat. You are literally taking all the dirt, the grit, the dust, and the sand off the road and dragging it across your paint. If you don't do it right, you're not washing your car, you're sanding it. We're going to dive into the 3 biggest mistakes that cause swirls, and then get into the permanent fix. Introduce the problem challenge, 1 minute 45 seconds. The core problem is simple: friction and contaminants. Every single scratch, swirl, or micro marring in your clear coat is caused by a tiny piece of dirt being pushed into the paint with force. Your car's clear coat is only about as thick as a piece of paper, and we treat it like sandpaper. The challenge is figuring out where that dirt is coming from. You might think it's the dirty bucket water, but that's actually only mistake number 2. Let's start with mistake number 1, the bad mitt. Stop using that cheap sponge or that old wash mitt you bought years ago. Here's why a sponge is the worst offender. It has a flat surface and no room for dirt to go. When you press the sponge against your car, the dirt doesn't go into the sponge, it just gets trapped between the sponge and the paint. You are effectively making a little mud and grit sandwich and dragging it across your expensive clear coat. It's like using a block of wood with grit glued to it. It's a guaranteed swirl creator. The classic cheap microfiber wash mitt isn't much better if it's low quality. Look closely at your mitt. If the fibers are short and tight, it's a problem. When you pick up dirt, the short fibers just hold the dirt right at the surface, ensuring the sharp edges of the contaminants scratch the paint. You need a mitt with long, fluffy, deep pile fibers. Think of a sheepskin mitt or a high-quality chenille wash mitt. The fibers should be long enough that when you pick up a piece of grit, the grit is pulled deep inside the mitt, away from the painted surface. This is critical. Once the dirt is inside those long fibers, the only thing touching your paint is the soft microfiber, not the nasty road grime. Invest $20 in a good mitt. It'll save you hundreds in paint correction down the road. Now let's move to the second major swirl-producing error. And this is one you see in almost every amateur car wash setup. Exploration or development, 15 minutes 30 seconds. The 3 deadly sins of car washing. We've covered the mitt. Now for the other 2 critical mistakes. Mistake number 2, the single bucket system. This is the classic Saturday afternoon setup. A single bucket with soapy water. You dunk your mitt in the bucket, wipe a section of the car, and then what do? You dunk that now dirty, grit-filled mitt right back into the same soapy water to reload it. What just happened? You just rinsed all the dirt, sand, and brake dust you picked up from the car into your clean wash water. By the time you get to the roof, your soapy water is no longer cleaning the car. It's a dirty, abrasive soup. You are effectively applying a gritty sandpaper solution to your clear coat every time you dunk the mitt. This is probably the most common cause of light to medium swirl marks on every car I see. The fix is called the 2-bucket method. It's not complicated, it's just 2 buckets. Bucket 1, the wash bucket. This has your soap and water. Bucket 2, the rinse bucket. This has plain, clean water. Here's the process. Dunk your mitt in the wash bucket to soak up soap. Wash 1 small section of the car, say half a door. Now before you go back to the soap, take your mitt and dunk it in the rinse bucket. Scrub it against the bottom of the rinse bucket. You'll see all the dirty water cloud up. You are literally rinsing the dirt off the mitt and into the rinse water. Now and only now do you go back to the wash bucket to reload with clean soapy water. This simple 2-bucket process isolates the dirt. The dirt stays in the rinse bucket and your wash bucket stays clean. To make this even better, you need a grit guard at the bottom of the rinse bucket. This is a plastic grid that sits a few inches off the bottom. When you scrub your mitt on it, the dirt falls beneath the guard and can't be picked back up by the mitt. The dirt is trapped and your mitt stays clean. 2 buckets and a grit guard are non-negotiable for a scratch-free wash. Mistake number 3, towel drying. Okay, you've washed your car perfectly. You're feeling good. The car is sparkling clean. Now you grab that old terry cloth towel or that synthetic chamois you've had since high school. and start dragging it across the paint to dry the water spots. Stop. You have just ruined all the effort you put into the 2-bucket method. Even if your wash was perfect, you are now creating new scratches. Why? First, air is full of dust and pollen. Even in the few minutes it takes to rinse the car, dust is settling back onto the wet surface. If you rub that surface with a rough towel, you're creating new micro scratches. Second, those old-school drying materials like chamois or cheap terry cloth are like the sponge. They have no pile. They just drag anything on the surface or anything in the towel directly across the paint. The solution is simple and the industry standard: the Waffle Weave Microfiber Drying Towel. These towels are massive, thick, and designed to absorb a huge amount of water without rubbing. Instead of rubbing the water off, you are blotting it. You lay the towel flat on the panel, press down gently, and the towel wicks the water away. For the parts you do need to move the towel, the waffle pattern creates deep channels where any tiny remaining dirt particles can fall into, keeping them away from the paint surface. You should be able to dry an entire sedan with 1 or maybe 2 large waffle weave towels without ever wringing them out. An even better trick for drying is using a leaf blower or a specialized car dryer. This is the only way to guarantee a touchless dry. You literally just blast the water off the car with air. No towel, no friction, no scratches. If you have a garage and a leaf blower, you already have the best drying tool in the world. So, to summarize the prevention part, ditch the sponge, use 2 buckets, and switch to waffle weave towels. Do this and you will stop creating new swirl marks immediately. Climax to our key moment, 5 minutes 30 seconds. But what about the scratches you already have? The ones that blind you every time the sun hits your hood. They are ugly. They make your paint look dull and they need to be fixed. Washing correctly stops them from getting worse, but it won't fix the damage that's already done. This is where the term paint correction comes in. Don't let the name scare you. Paint correction is just a fancy word for leveling the clear coat. Think of your clear coat like a frozen lake. Swirl marks are tiny canyons and valleys in the ice. When light hits those uneven surfaces, it bounces around, and that's what makes the paint look hazy or swirly. What we need to do is gently smooth down the surface of the clear coat until those canyons are gone and the light reflects perfectly again. You do this with a polisher. Now, when I say polisher, I'm not talking about those old-school rotary buffers your grandpa used. Those can generate so much heat and spin so fast they burn right through your paint if you don't know exactly what you're doing. We are going to use a dual-action polisher, or DA polisher. A DA polisher is a machine that not only spins the pad, but also jiggles it in an orbit. This dual-action movement makes it nearly impossible for an amateur to burn through the paint. It's the safest tool you can buy for this job. You can get a good entry-level DA polisher kit for around $150. That's your biggest investment. Now you need the product, the actual stuff that cuts the paint. This is called compound or polish. The compound is what has the tiny uniform abrasives in it. When the DA polisher rotates the pad and the compound rubs against the clear coat, it slowly and safely shaves off the top microscopic layer of the clear coat, effectively smoothing out the surface and erasing the swirls. You start with a compound to remove the deeper swirls, and then you follow up with a polish, which has much finer abrasives, to refine the finish and make it glossy. Here's the simple step-by-step for the permanent fix. Prep the area. Wash the car using the 2-bucket method we just learned. It must be perfectly clean. Tape off trim. Use painter's tape to cover any black plastic trim, rubber seals, or badges. The polisher and compound will permanently stain or damage these plastic parts. Don't skip this step. Use the right pad. You need a cutting pad, usually orange or yellow, with your initial compound. Put 4 pea-sized dots of compound on the pad. Work a small section. Only work on a 2-foot by 2-foot area at a time. This is key. The technique: set the DA polisher to a low speed, like 3 out of 6. Spread the product over the 2:2 section. Then turn the speed up to about 5. Use slow overlapping passes in a crosshatch pattern. Up and down, then side to side. Use very light pressure. Let the machine do the work. Wipe and check. After 4 to 6 passes in the crosshatch pattern, wipe off the compound residue with a clean microfiber towel and check your work. Use a flashlight or your phone light. The swirl marks should be gone. Refine polishing. Once the swirls are gone, switch to a polishing pad, usually white or black, and a dedicated polish, not compound. Repeat the exact same crosshatch process. This step removes the haze left by the initial compound and maximizes the gloss. Do this process panel by panel. It's tedious, it might take you a whole weekend, but when you're done, your paint will have that deep, wet, mirror-like gloss you thought only a professional detailer could achieve. And you did it yourself, forever eliminating the swirls. Conclusion summary, 4 minutes 50 seconds. Let's quickly recap the huge shift we've made. You came here because your car looks fantastic right after a wash, but the second the sun hits it, those ugly swirl marks blind you. We learned that those swirls aren't from bad wax. They are caused by improper friction and trapped dirt during the wash process. The 3 deadly mistakes you need to stop making right now are using a cheap wash mitt or sponge that traps dirt against the paint. Switch to a long pile microfiber mitt. Using a single bucket that turns your cleaning solution into an abrasive mud mixture. Switch to the 2-bucket method with a grit guard in the rinse bucket. Drying your car with rough or dirty towels. Switch to a waffle weave drying towel, or even better, a touchless air dry method like a leaf blower. And for the permanent fix to the damage that's already been done, you need to use a dual-action EDA polisher with a simple 2-step process. Compound on a cutting pad, followed by polish on a polishing pad. This safely shaves down the clear coat until the surface is perfectly flat, and the paint is swirl-free and blindingly glossy. This whole process is a commitment, but it's the difference between a car that looks 5 years old and a car that looks brand new every single day. The best part is, once you've done the paint correction, you only have to do it once as long as you switch to the proper 2-bucket wash technique every time. You are now armed with the knowledge to protect and perfect your car's most valuable asset. It's paint. The reason professional detailers charge so much is not for the products. It's for this exact process. You now know the secrets. Stop making those 3 deadly mistakes and your car will stay perfect. Call to action, 6 seconds. If you want to see how to maintain that glass-like finish with the simplest ceramic coating you can buy, click on the video that just popped up on your screen.